What if the Cold War of the 1960s and 1980s escalated into an all-out nuclear war and devastated the entire planet with only few survivors with limited food sources? That is the main premise of Earth-17, previously called Earth-86, and its main protagonist, the Atomic Knights. This reality gives us a glimpse on what the world would look like after a Third World War, what mutations could have transpired, and what heroes and villains would have done to survive. Welcome to DCNES, and this is Earth-17. In this video, we will tackle 4 major versions of the Atomic Knights. The first one is from the pre-crisis era of DC, the original Atomic Knights, but their universe was named as Earth-86 instead of Earth-17. The second one is from the New 52 period, which is named in the reality of Earth-17. The third version is from the video game Infinite Crisis Fight for the Multiverse, whose Atomic Knights are also from Earth-17. And the fourth one is the version of the Atomic Knights in the New Earth era of DC. Let's get it on. In the pre-crisis era of DC, the Atomic Knights are placed in Earth-86. Earth-86 is a world in which a 20-day atomic war devastated much of the Earth on October 9, 1986. The dreaded atomic war burst forth and exploded the length and breadth of the planet, destroying what man has spent centuries building. Of the 8 nations possessing H-bombs that time, no one knew who fired the first shot. What remains is guarded by the Atomic Knights and Hercules. The war caused the extinction of almost all plants and animal life on Earth and led to widespread amnesia in many of the people left alive, especially the soldiers, such as Sergeant Gardner Grail, who seemed to have also lost his army. The only food remaining is canned. Money is worthless. The present radiation doesn't cause cancer, rather causing strange transformations in unprotected victims. H-bomb explosions have changed the shape of the continents. Following the catastrophic hydrogen war of 1986, a petty tyrant named the Black Baron ruled a small section of the Midwestern United States with an iron fist. Because he possessed the last remaining ray guns on the planet, he ransacked all food supplies and hoarded them so he can make slaves out of everyone. One day, Black Baron's men were attacking Douglas Harold, a school teacher who was guarding the museum as it was one of the town's supply cache. Gardner and Douglas fought the raiders, but the two were thrown with an R grenade that could generate radiations in all directions and kill them. Gardner and Douglas took cover behind 6 medieval armor suits and were saved. Gardner then realized that the metal in the ancient suits neutralized the deadly rays. Douglas theorized that the armors were weathered by centuries, making them immune to most forms of deadly radiation. So they took the suits back to the townspeople and explained that they can wear it and attack the Black Baron. They soon found volunteers to wear the suits and fight with them. The twins, Wayne and Hollis Hubbard, neighbors of Douglas; Bryndon Smith, the last scientist left on Earth who showed them how to find canned foods underground; and the sister of Douglas, Maureen Harold. The group stormed Black Baron's building and were impervious to their ray guns. They successfully captured the Baron and subdued his men and distributed the food to the people. From there, they realized the world needs men like them to represent law and order against evil power, and so they created the Atomic Knights. The group would go on fighting many villains, including alien villains, and became a symbol of hope to the survivors of the cataclysm. The Atomic Knights have giant Dalmatians for transportation. Before the atomic war that devastated Earth in 1986, scientists had detected strange radiation in the North Pole and sent the ship MR-1909 with a couple of Dalmatians aboard in order to test whether the radiation was hazardous to life. The radiation may have affected the growth glands of the 2 dogs, making them giants. They may have been automatically released by the rocket and landed by parachute before it crashed. The Atomic Knights found the dogs, bred them, and their puppies grew as tall as their parents, serving as mounts. These giant Dalmatians have claws, fangs, enhanced sense of smell, and enhanced hearing. Atomic Knight's co-creator John Broome discussed the genesis for the idea of creating something to do with King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. He thought if they could make a modern version of that spirit and the feeling, that would be a new kind of comic that hadn't been done and will be enjoyed by comic book fans. So together with Murphy Anderson, they worked out a third world war where life was almost destroyed and crime was all over, and created the Atomic Knights as defenders of justice and fate. EARTH-86 was presumably destroyed during the Crisis on Infinite Earths event, and then presumably retroactively saved from destruction during the Convergence event. In the Convergence series, the city of Dervale of the Atomic Knights was one of the first cities that were captured by Brainiac from different timelines. The Atomic Knights were forced to fight the Legion of Superheroes. The Legion underestimated the Atomic Knights as the Knights were able to hit them back with such power. Nevertheless, it was still their instinct not to kill the Legion and save them. In the end, both parties soon understood they were being manipulated and agreed to rebuild the city of Dervale. Eventually, the Atomic Knights increased in number. At the end of the Convergence series, the reality of the Atomic Knights was named Earth-17, making way for the New 52 era version, with the Atomic Knights now looking more like their Earth's version of the Justice League. On the three-part 2024 animated movie of the Crisis on Infinite Earths, Earth-17 was portrayed as a dystopian Earth, with the Atomic Knights reflecting the original pre-Crisis version in comics. Like in comics, Earth-17 and the Atomic Knights were also destroyed by the antimatter wave.
Hercules of Earth-86 is another hero that helped the Atomic Knights in saving the survivors of the nuclear war. 4 weeks after World War III, Hercules, who has been trapped and chained by Ares, god of war, breaks his chains, teams up with the blind boy Kevin and his dog, and begins striking back against his foe. Hercules wandered the world in search of revenge on the one who imprisoned him, his half-brother Ares. Hercules and Kevin met 3 more survivors of war, but are beset by Ares' deputy Cerberus and his 2-headed dogs of war. Cerberus captures Jennifer Monroe in order to lure Hercules to a battle in Pluto's realm. Hercules, Kevin, and Jennifer are attacked by the humanoid animal legions of Hunter Blood, a mutant with death-dealing vision. Hercules learns the origin of the humanized animals from a gorilla man as the 2 of them seek out Hunter Blood. Hercules tracks Ares down in Stonehenge and battles him for the lives of Simon St. Charles and Dave Rigg. Hercules defeated Ares, and in exchange of his freedom, Ares revived Kevin's dog. Hercules and Ares had an agreement to part ways as free from each other while still calling each other brother. Soon, Hercules, Jennifer, and Kevin encountered the Atomic Knights, one of whom has been destroyed and replaced by an energy being in search of the secret of the exploding compressed water. In the New 52 version of Earth-17, the Cold War also escalated into an all-out nuclear annihilation in 1963. Captain Adam Strange leads his Atomic Knights of Justice on a desperate, last-chance quest to preserve the remnants of humanity 50 years after the nuclear destruction. Captain Adam Strange and his Atomic Knights provide extensive security for the last surviving city of Earth-17 called Nova America. Battling various monstrous mutations, mad science, and human heartbreak on the way to rebuilding the ruined world of 21st century Nova America, they seek the Cosmic Grail, the only weapon that will defend against the coming threats of Darkseid the Destroyer. Members of the Atomic Knights of Justice include Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Green Lantern, Cyborg, Martian Manhunter, Flash, Batman, and Green Arrow. Aside from Darkseid, a prominent villain in this Earth is Dr. Light. Also, most of the Atomic Knights have huge dogs and cats as their main transport. It would seem that our pets have become bigger allies. One of the most prominent members of the New 52 version of the Atomic Knights is Bruce Wayne, aka Batman. Atomic Batman is a hero in a post-nuclear Holocaust world of Earth-17, and his well-shielded batsuit provides him the ability to fly, sound manipulation, thermal blast, and of course, protection from nuclear radiations in Earth-17. During the Multiversity series, this Batman joined the Justice Incarnate. Before joining, he accidentally went to Earth-42 while searching for the Cosmic Grail after cracking down the Dark Tower of Luthex. In Earth-42, he saved the Little League members against the robots of the multiversal Dr. Sylvanas. He also met Dick Grayson, the Little Batman of Earth-42. Little Batman was surprised that Earth-17 Batman can kill. Atomic Knight Batman explained that he was raised from East Gotham Brad Pitt. It was kill or be killed in his neighborhood. Little Batman immediately realized that Batman was from an alternate reality, and as he saw the comic book depicting other Earths, he deduced that the cubes held by the Sylvanas are travel devices into parallel Earths. Little Batman somehow recognized that the cubes are causing the multiversal trouble and they need to power it up to try to use it. Atomic Knight Batman then used the atomic battery of his suit to provide power for the cube. From the comics, Little Batman learned he is from Earth-42 and Atomic Batman was from Earth-17 and learned that the cube can be operated through vibrations. Little Batman used the rose from Earth-17 brought by Atomic Batman to connect the cube to Earth-17. Batman heard his friends, so to save Little Batman, Atomic Batman allowed himself to be left behind and used his sonic disruptor to send Little Batman to Earth-17 and get help from the Atomic Knights of Justice. Little Batman arrived in Nova America and showed the rose as proof that Atomic Batman sent him. Meanwhile, Atomic Knight Batman was drawn into the House of Heroes and met other heroes from other realities who told him that he was also chosen to be one of the numerous heroes in the multiverse to fight a great multiversal threat called the Gentry. In the crowd, Lord Volt and Lady Quark of Earth-48 met Atomic Knight Batman of Earth-17. Recognizing the narrative need, Volt demands he prove he deserves to be there. Atomic Knight Batman points to Little Wonder Woman and Little Steel of Earth-42 and says he met someone like them before. This causes Metal Hawkman of Earth-44 to accuse them of being spies for Hell Machine and the Gentry. However, rather than fight this accusation, the two reveal themselves as robots, initiating a shutdown sequence so as to not to betray their master. Fortunately, Metal Hawkman can remotely read their memory and said that they can be saved by the map that Atomic Knight Batman carries. After the multiversal heroes battled the Gentry in Earth-8, President Superman of Earth-23 recognized that the fight against the Gentry is not yet over. Thus, he recruited a volunteer army and called it the Justice Incarnate, which included Mary Marvel from Earth-5, Captain Carrot of Earth-26, Atomic Knight's Batman of Earth-17, Machine Head of Earth-8, Aquawoman of Earth-11, President Superman himself, Thunderer of Earth-7, Green Lantern Abin Sur of Earth-20, and Red Racer of Earth-36. When the Supermen of the multiverse were being hunted by the Prophecy, the Justice League Incarnate met with Kal-El of New Earth and Communist Superman of Earth-30 to save them. Atomic Knight's Batman, President Superman, and the Justice Incarnate warned the Supermen of the incoming danger from the Prophecy and aided them to find Kong Kenan, the Superman of China. However, they were too late as Kong Kenan was already taken by the Gadverse, minions of the Prophecy. The group returned to the House of Heroes where the team decided that they should recruit the other Supermen of other Earths to save them from the Prophecy. So the team, now with New Earth Superman, went to different Earths and successfully, and at times painfully, made the recruitment. They were able to bring all the unkidnapped Supermen in the House of Heroes. New Earth Superman took the Ultima Thule to the Prophecy to enact the team's plan for him to act as bait, as well as creating a beacon where the other captured Supermen were taken. The House later received a signal from the Thule as recognized by Atomic Batman, then Red Racer built a second vessel that can travel through the bleed. With this, the Justice Incarnate saved all the Supermen. Soon after, Atomic Batman and the Justice Incarnate battled the very powerful Perpetua, and all they could do was to jump from world to world, saving anyone they could. Later, Atomic Knight's Batman was one of the new 52 multiversal heroes brought by Kid Flash to fight the Dark Crisis. This Batman also loves cursing with presumably vulgar words like Kraken X.
Farewell.
In the Infinite Crisis fight for the multiverse version of Earth-17, also called the Atomic Universe, Diana's mission as Wonder Woman to bring peace to the world during the Cold War era was destroyed when the United States misidentified an object from space exploding above a town in Kansas as a nuclear missile. It launched nuclear missiles at the USSR, which retaliated in the same measure, and soon the entire world was devastated by nuclear bombs. Diana then set out to restore the world on her own and help the survivors. She was later recruited by the Harbinger to help her stop the Infinite Crisis, threatening the multiverse together with the other heroes from different universes. In this Earth, her chainsaw is named Alethea, yet she also mentioned that she has a lasso of truth. After Two-Face of Earth-17 killed Harbinger and stole the Eternal Key, Catwoman of Earth-19 decided to call Harbinger's other recruits as she viewed the newest one, the Batman of Earth-0, as unimpressive. These recruits included Atomic Wonder Woman of Earth-17, Nightmare Robin of Earth-43, and Arcane Green Lantern of Earth-13. Upon being presented to Batman by Green Lantern, Diana was unimpressed by him. When Batman asked how would they find Two-Face, Diana barged in, stating they'll use Harbinger's orb to chase him through the blade. The heroes despaired upon learning from Batman that Two-Face had tricked them into thinking they needed the Eternal Key to stop him, but Batman told them not to lose hope. As Robin suggested chasing Two-Face down and defeating him, Batman agreed and told Catwoman to take them to Earth-48, which Two-Face intended to conquer. Arriving there, the heroes were soon hit by a strong gust after Two-Face destroyed Earth-48. Sir Harold Jordan, aka Green Lantern, however, saved them all by encasing them in a bubble made from his magic lantern and transported them into the bleed. The Monitor Nix Wotton arrived in time to save them and asked Harold to take the heroes to Earth-17 in order to distract Two-Face while he prepared weapons to take him down. Upon waking up, Robin and Catwoman criticized Harold for agreeing, while Wonder Woman argued against leaving her homeworld at the mercy of Two-Face. Batman told the heroes to stop bickering and stated they'll be going after him no matter what. He then asked Diana to guide them while they tracked Two-Face. After arriving near the ruins of Gotham City, they were soon ambushed by the Wastelanders called Multiboys, led by Earth-17's Bane. Bane tried killing Catwoman when she tried to flee, causing Batman to intervene. Sir Harold told the others to go help him while he dealt with all the Wastelanders alone. Robin assaulted Bane but found himself overpowered as well. Wonder Woman intervened before Bane could kill any of the heroes and knocked him out. The effort exhausted his power, but Harold was able to knock all the Wastelanders out. Batman later used a ruse to fool their enemies into thinking that they would be killed by the Green Lantern if they didn't do as they said. Harold agreed to go along with his lie, while Bane and his Multiboys agreed to take the heroes to Two-Faced hideout in the Wayne Manor, pretending to be captured. Two-Face revealed to the heroes that someone else was supplying him with information to accomplish his goals, but refused to reveal anything further. Catwoman then stole the Eternal Key from him and used its power to take him down. Diana meanwhile successfully dealt with Bane and his men. The Monitor soon arrived and took the key in his possession before asking the heroes to continue fighting by his side and warning they'll face even greater battles. Soon after, Wonder Woman arrived with her allies on Earth-13 after its heroes Arcane Zatanna, Arcane Zod, and Arcane Supergirl had beaten back the mysterious foe who was assaulting their world. The teams joined forces to plan against the crisis and everyone agreed to go after their enemy, but they were soon interrupted by the arrival of Lex Luthor of Earth-19, who helped the heroes realize that their enemy was going to assault Nil, the Monitor's homeworld, and they rushed to get there in time. Going to Nil, the team split up. Diana, Flash, Supergirl, Lex, and Catwoman went away from the battle to conduct reconnaissance. They found several corpses of the Monitor, so Diana decided to explore the insides of the Axis Tower with Flash while telling the others to guard outside. The Monitor soon revealed himself, telling Diana and Flash that he had divided himself into 52 parts in order to fool his enemy. All of the versions of him had been killed and he was the only one left, but significantly weakened due to the deaths of the others. Outside, Batman's team came to rescue Wonder Woman's team against the Metallos led by Brainiac of Earth-43. Struggling to beat their enemy, Batman decided to use Nil's defenses and told Lex to come with him to Axis Tower. Upon learning from Nix Uwatan that Brainiac had hacked the systems, Lex suggested using the Eternal Key as the central operating system while insulating it with magic. Zatanna of Earth-Zero accomplished this task, resulting in Brainiac being killed and his forces defeated. The Monitor then sent the heroes back to their universes in order to recruit new allies and keep an eye out for any threats. While traveling through the wastelands on the outskirts of the Burn on her homeworld, Atomic Wonder Woman was ambushed by Killer Croc. As they fought, she learned from him that he was trying to keep people like her away but refused to tell her from what. She soon succeeded in subduing him and went to see herself what he was guarding. Upon failing to figure out what it was and fearing for her universe's safety, she summoned her multiversal allies Batman, Catwoman, Green Lantern, and Robin using the orb the Monitor had given her. The heroes examined the device Diana had discovered, realizing it consisted of Monitor as well as human technology in addition to magic, and was left there deliberately until it needed to be activated. They decided to interrogate Croc, and Diana suggested using her lasso of truth, but Batman let Damian interrogate him, much to her bewilderment. Damian warned Croc that if he didn't cooperate, he'll either face the lasso, which will permanently change him, or be tortured. Croc was easily intimidated and stated that the device was called Earth Engine. He also revealed that a bespectacled man with a strange accent had told him to guard it. Selina suspected Lex, since she had seen the designs in his plans. After all the heroes assembled in Lex's Metropolis headquarters on Earth-19, Batman split everyone up into teams in order to find Earth engines across the multiverse. Wonder Woman was sent along with Superman of Earth-Zero and Arcane Green Lantern to Earth-Zero. The people there, however, found her outfit strange, which angered her. Tracking the Earth engine's energy signature to an under-construction supermall in Keystone City, they found an Earth engine stored there. All the heroes arrived back on Earth-19 and assumed someone was trying to create a mind-controlled army to battle the Monitor. Upon going to the basement of Lex's headquarters to see what he had learned about the Earth engine found there, Lex told them that it had been rigged to drive people mad and make them kill themselves if tampered with. The Monitor was summoned to Earth-19 by Wonder Woman, and upon learning about the Earth engine, decided to disable it despite Lex's warnings. This, however, created an energy wave which started overpowering everyone's mind. Harold tried to shield the Earth engine to negate its effect, but struggled to contain its powers. The Monitor, however, had suffered the greatest effect and was driven mad. As the heroes struggled to subdue Uwatan, Batman told Harold to surround the heroes in his force field instead, stating they had no choice even if it drove the world mad. Harold agreed, and this method was more successful, but it didn't calm the Monitor. Catwoman of Earth-19 called for backup. The other heroes soon showed up, with the magic users Zatanna of Earth-Zero, Supergirl of Earth-13, and Zatanna of Earth-13 calming the Monitor down temporarily. The Monitor then had Superman of Earth-Zero and Mecha Superman throw the Earth engine into the bleed. Upon noticing that Lex was missing, Batman had the heroes split up to search for him. They found out that he was being controlled by Vandal Savage of Earth-19, who was the one behind the Earth engines. Hawkgirl helped Batman, Catwoman, and Robin in defeating him by destroying his suggestion device. Lex, who was now freed from Savage's mind control, disabled the Earth engines across the multiverse. The Monitor soon arrived to take Savage away and imprison him on Nil. 3 days later, Atomic Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Superman of Earth-Zero went to Nil to inform the Monitor about the successful dismantling of all Earth engines. The Monitor warned that they'll soon face another wave of the Infinite Crisis, and Diana stated that they needed to recruit more allies.
Kick up dust and shred your enemies as Atomic Wonder Woman.
Agonized by the fiery destruction of his civilization on Earth-17, Atomic Green Lantern lives his final days to restore hope to Earth. Hal Jordan was dreadfully examining ruins for survivors when his ring mysteriously deactivated. His construct shattered, dropping to several tons of overhead rubble. He awoke in a makeshift clinic and realized his arm was amputated and his ring embedded in his chest. Weeks later, a shadowy figure offered to restore Hal's depowered ring using a new radioactive isotope. He agreed without question, but the cost was great, which is a briefer and a more painful existence. Hal became a vicious and monstrous Green Lantern, forming a contract arm as replacement for his amputation. Atomic Green Lantern would usually melt his enemies with deadly radiation and explosive brute force.
Irradiate and eradicate your enemies as Atomic Green Lantern.
Harvey Dent worked as a criminal with multiple personality disorder in Gotham City of Earth-17 before the nuclear war between the United States and USSR. The nuclear fallout of the war transformed him into a hideous mutant with multiple arms and a deformed body and became known as the Two-Faced. He set up his base in the former Wayne Manor, the home of the now-deceased Batman of Earth-17. Brainiac of Earth-43 contacted the Two-Faced to help him so he could defeat the Monitor and conquer the multiverse. He hired the Two-Faced to steal various artifacts from across the 52 universes and supplied him information regarding the multiverse and helped him ally with the raiders called the Multiboys that were led by Bane. Two-Faced started carrying out his plan and after stealing the other artifacts, spread a fake rumor about the Eternal Key that it could negate their power so the Monitor's chosen hero called the Harbinger would unwittingly bring it to him. Harbinger soon acquired the Eternal Key on Earth-0 and came to Earth-19 with Earth-0's Batman so he would believe that she was fighting to protect the multiverse. The Two-Faced followed her to Earth-19's Gotham City and soon attacked both of them. After acquiring the Eternal Key in the struggle, he used its power to turn himself into a being of great power and fatally wounded Harbinger before tossing his coin to decide whether to conquer Earth-19 or another universe first. As the coin decided in favor of conquering another universe, Two-Faced decided to conquer Harbinger's own universe of Earth-48 first. Catwoman of Earth-19 summoned the heroes whom Harbinger had recruited to help her and went after the Two-Faced to stop him by traveling to Earth-48 using Harbinger's orb. Two-Faced has destroyed this universe by using the Eternal Key when they arrived there, but the heroes were saved through the efforts of the Green Lantern and the Monitor. After arriving back at Earth-17, Two-Faced told the Multiboys to get ready to conquer the world. The multiversal heroes soon arrived in Earth-17 after being told by the Monitor to hold the Two-Faced until he finished assembling weapons to take him down, and the Two-Faced detected their arrival due to the Eternal Key. After tossing the coin to decide what to do with them, he sent Bane along with the Multiboys to capture them. The heroes, however, defeated the Wastelanders and made them pretend they had succeeded in capturing them so they would take them to Two-Faced. After Bane brought the heroes to Two-Faced, Two-Faced flipped a coin to decide their fates. The coin landed on the side of their deaths, and he decided to kill Nightmare Robin first to make Batman suffer, but Batman goaded him into talking about how he had come to know so much information about the various worlds. Two-Faced told him that he had been provided information by someone else he was serving, but refused to reveal his name. When Batman asked and proceeded to execute Robin, Robin, however, attacked him upon Batman's command, starting a fight and causing the Two-Faced to power himself up using the Eternal Key, after nearly getting overpowered by Robin and Batman. Two-Faced soon saw that Bane and his Multiboys were just standing around and questioned them as to why they weren't fighting. Upon hearing that the Green Lantern had threatened to blow up their brainstems if they intervened, he told them that he was lying as he nearly had no power left. Two-Faced attacked the heroes again, but they were saved by Green Lantern, who used up the last ounce of his energy. Noticing this, Two-Faced started gloating, but this provided enough distraction for Catwoman to steal the Eternal Key from him. Atomic Wonder Woman kept the Multiboys busy as they tried attacking the heroes, and Batman and Robin soon attacked the Two-Faced. Two-Faced was able to overpower them, but Catwoman used the Eternal Key to grant greater power to herself to defeat him and knocked him out. The Atomic Joker of Earth-17 is the ultimate combination of brains and brawn. His minion, Gaggy, blindly follows any mad command coming from the Joker without concern for himself. When Blighted survivors broke into an abandoned military bunker, they couldn't have realized what they were about to unleash within its derelict walls.
they discovered a hibernating computer system. The system activated and they found attached to it is the head of the Joker suspended in a preservation vessel. The Joker welcomed them with a cackle and told them it was time to build the future. The Joker recounted that the military had wanted to use his unique mind to come up with nuclear war scenarios. Now that the serious world was dead and gone, he told the survivors it was time to build a new crazy one. So, desperate were the survivors that they decided to listen to the Joker and began building a new community within the bunker. As the community prospered, the survivors increasingly followed the Joker's orders without question until they eventually had no will of their own. When the Joker commanded that his vessel be attached to the back of one of his minions so that he could better see the world he was building, many vied for the honor. The gruesome combat that took place left but one survivor, a scarred, voiceless brute who the Joker named Gaggy. From his spot perched on Gaggy's back, the Joker now rides through the nuclear wasteland, always looking to expand the borders of Joker Town.
Roll out the killing show with Gaggy and Tricks in tow as Atomic Joker.
As the radioactive fallout of the nuclear war withered the botanical ecosystem of Earth-17, Pamela Isley was overwhelmed by the screams of the dying plants and collapsed into a catatonic state. Upon awakening, she found herself transformed into something more plant than woman and encircled by a strange forest of mutated vegetation that had adapted to the bleak radioactive landscape. She recognized she now had a connection to the plants that had survived, almost as if she could feel their thoughts and will. This connection to the green brought about an epiphany in her. She was now the defender of what plants remained. Through her, man would learn to fear nature and she would ensure that man would never threaten the green again. Still possessing a striking beauty, Atomic Poison Ivy does not use seduction as a weapon. Instead, she uses her radioactively gifted powers to protect herself, obscure her allies, and entrap and/or poison her foes.
Entangle foes with toxic entrapment as Atomic Poison Ivy.
We also saw an Earth-17 version of Bane, who is a very big and strong leader of the Mutie Boys in Earth-17. Only Atomic Wonder Woman can defeat him on hand-to-hand combat. Then there's also the Earth-17 version of Killer Croc, who is very scared of Nightmare Robin and has so many red eyes. He was guarding the Earth machine placed in Earth-17 when Atomic Wonder Woman saw him.
Although not part of Earth-17 nor of Earth-86, the New Earth version of the Atomic Knights had a wonderful storyline. A year ago, the Society dropped a bomb in the heart of Bludhaven, home to 5 million souls. When the President declared a state of emergency, the city was walled off and displaced survivors were forced to set up a makeshift camp outside the wall. Decision makers and military officials have not allowed access to the city due to dangerous levels of radiation and assigned Freedom's Ring a group of meta-human operatives to enforce their will. That mandate, however, hasn't kept certain people out as many superpowered beings would still try to get in. The Atomic Knights, a mysterious and unknown number of people sealed in technologically advanced armor, have been operating secretly inside of Bludhaven for months. Formed by Gardner Grail, the Atomic Knights' original goal was to protect the displaced citizen of Bludhaven from harassment by the Agents of Shade. Working with an organization called the Round Table, they masqueraded as ordinary refugees. There are roughly 125 Atomic Knights, with the main knights being Grail, Marine, and Dog Herald, Brynden, and Wayne and Hollis Hubbard, who are based on the original group from the 1960s, who are shown posing as refugees with the help of advanced cloaking technology and using armor with numerous powers, including the ability to record and analyze complex data and fire powerful ballistic and nuclear blasts. The Atomic Knights would soon discover that the government was harboring an extremely powerful being, the Captain Atom. The Knights would soon attack Father Time to stop him in detonating Captain Atom. However, Captain Atom later destroyed Bludhaven, and the Knights retreated to a lush underground bunker named Command D. So there goes the Atomic Knights and their world that is very much similar to the Mad Max universe. Which would be your favorite version and your least favorite? Which version would you like to be seen in a live-action movie?
I know the Infinite Crisis video game version was too much or too colorful, but I think there is a potential there. Like always, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.